Hello and welcome everybody to this week's VAU Mic Check. Today we have a special guest with us, Everett Oliver. Now, Everett Oliver is a 24-year veteran in the entertainment industry. He currently runs his own voiceover company called My Booth Director, which specializes in professional direction for your voiceover auditions. He is also an animation demo co-producer, a private coach for commercial and animation, as well as a career consultant. Recently, he was nominated for the Co-Producing/Directing Sovas Award in the category of Outstanding Animation/Gaming Demo Reel Best Voiceover. He also received another nomination for Directing a Narration Demo Reel in the category of Outstanding Narration Demo Reel Best Voiceover. Formerly working as a booth director at AVO Talent Agency in Los Angeles, he has directed numerous voiceover actors in countless auditions for animation, commercials, interactive, narration, promos and trailers, and also sound-alikes. He has also worked in voiceover casting for several award-winning animated shows, such as Godzilla, Men in Black, Jackie Chan Adventures, and Hellboy Sword of Storms, just to name a few. He has worked at several companies, such as Columbia TriStar, Disney, Film Roman, distributed by the WB, ABC, and Sci-Fi. Lastly, his experience includes TV animation productions for several hit animated shows, The Simpsons and King of the Hill. His experience in voice direction and casting make him one of the most sought-after experts in the industry, and he's here with us today to share a little bit more of his expertise about animation voiceover. So Everett, the time is yours.
All right. Great introduction. Thank you so much for having me. So, my experience, in working in animation and, especially voice acting. Actors, for me, they're so hungry about they want to be in an animated series, or they want to be into, get themselves into a character. And what I'm finding is they don't know how difficult it is to actually become that character. They worry so much about the voice rather than, as I tell actors, step in, into the role. So I tell actors to just study. You need to study shows, animated shows. In my teaching, I do tell actors to study everyone. And my belief is everybody on the planet is a character. And if you study everyone, whether it not be your family members or your friends, and you study their behavior, you can actually step into them and become whatever character that you're trying to portray. I also tell actors, as far as the animation stuff, is to school projects. They also, they do, characters and stuff in colleges. So I want to go ahead and I want to put out, as far as the animation industry is that I want actors to not so much worried about what's going on as far as this series per se. I want them to just really, really study. I don't find that they're studying. They're hearing a voice and they're just saying, oh, I can do that voice. Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to ask me a question. Can you hear me still?
Yep,
We can hear you.
I think you ask me
we can hear you. Michael told us not to talk because he would be talking.
Oh, he could. I'm easy with questions. I'm easy with questions.
I said I would hand the time over to him. I didn't say not to talk. Come on.
I was really waiting for questions. I'm better with questions. So Sherman, you can ask me a question.
Dad told us not to.
Michael said if we talk, we would be just, that's it. You're out of the group and you can't come back.
No,
Yeah.
It's easier for me to ask questions. Yeah.
So then, okay, I'll make it official. We'll go ahead and open this time up for anybody to ask any questions that they'd like.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say study a character, or everybody is a character, so study their behavior, and then we practice mimicking it, or...
No, what you do is you take a little bit of their emotions and their tones and their personality
Okay.
of someone, and you can create your own personality just by studying them. So what I do is, say, for example, Cheryl, your best friend. I would say,
Okay.
depending on what the specs are of a script, I would say, tell me some of the elements of your girlfriends and your best friend. Take those elements and those aspects, combine them without thinking too much about it, and you will form a character without you even think about it. I think actors really tend to overthink things. So, like I said, I do a lot of kind of like, I will say to an actor, okay, tell me about you specifically. They'll tell me, because I should back up a little bit. The main thing is what I do is I say to actors, like I said, pay attention to your surroundings. Tell me about this specific character in your life. And then they go ahead and they tell me, oh, this could be somebody I went to school with. Great. Now give me your interpretation of that person and read the copy. Go, and don't think about it. Because it's easier, rather you come up with little small aspects of the character than, you know, you trying to imitate somebody. I could totally tell when you imitating somebody. Okay.
Okay, so how would someone say keep the same character throughout a series instead of, because that person's going to change and is going to change in your eyes as well. So how do you keep that character?
In a series, most likely that character is not going to change in a series. The writers are going to basically keep that same character. They might, unless there's a B or something storyline. Most, like, for example, Bart Simpson hasn't changed in 20-something or 30-something years.
Right.
Okay, so really my aspect in all the shows that I've worked on, all the characters stayed the same. Now, I'm gonna give you another example. When you're on a series, let's say Dan, right? They'll say, Dan, we want to give you an additional role. Then it's up to you as the performer to really be on your toes and say, oh, okay, what is this character like? That's why I say study everybody, people who you went to high school with or anything, because then it's less you thinking about it. You'll just go ahead and you just jump in. So, but when you're doing series or anything, they pretty much all stay the same, you know, through the whole hour.
I actually have a question, and it's a question to clarify something I asked you before. I know you probably don't remember it, but I asked you a question that made it seem like I was asking you to refer me to your competitors. That's not what I meant. What I meant to ask was, you mentioned something about you like to refer some of your students who need it to get acting and improv lessons. What I meant to ask was, where do you generally refer them to get those lessons to up their skills in order to work with you more fully?
I tell everybody to take a regular general acting class. You need regular basic acting skills. Then I say, just go to any improv. I don't tell them specifically to a specific place.
Okay.
You know, and then I can tell whether or not you have basic acting skills or not. It will just, I would say, intuitively come to me. You know, and I like to, one of my techniques is, and Nathan, who I just see, knows me, I need to know who you are as a person. So I personally tap in, I call it a tap. So I go through you and learn you. Once I've learned you, then I can go ahead and I can pull performances out of you. And it seems to, this is something that cannot be taught. This is something that just developed with me as a person. So that's why I give little techniques here and there. I don't give line reads. Nathan will tell you. I'm one of those types that you as the performer, when you're in that character, have to figure it out. Because what happens is, when you're in an ensemble, you're gonna have to be able to think really quick and fast on your feet. And I won't be there. And you will be, I had an actor tell me they were screaming my name in their head because I wasn't there. So, you know, that's my, you know, rules.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you don't give line reads, does that mean you would give me like a situation, and then I am putting myself in that situation, or my character in that situation, and then doing whatever my character would do, like at the grocery store buying cheese or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
I would totally, yeah. I come up with something, whatever comes to me. I'm a person of images. So you're right. If you're at the grocery store, I will put you in that situation. Or that's why I say pay attention. Spending time with, family members and friends, because you pick up little stuff here and there, and you will use that. Trust me, you will use it for a character. I also say, and Nathan knows it, somebody who's really funny, because now they would like characters to be funny. So people around you who are funny, you take them, you put them in your back pocket. And so whenever you're going to need characters that's really going to be slightly over the top or really dramatic, I tell the actor, remember those characters that we talked about that I told you to put in your back pocket. Get those characters and you'll use them. You will totally use them. Somewhere down the line, you will use them.
All right. I've got another question. What would you say would be the absolute bare minimum basic necessities to start working in the animation industry?
The basic would be study. Know your acting. It's nothing about your voice. It's just about your acting. Know your timing, your improv timing. Those are the two major things that you're going to need. Know that those characters are supposed to be emotionally, personality is supposed to come through, and don't overthink. A lot of actors, they get in their heads, especially when it comes time for auditions. I give them a look. They know what the look means. That means they got to step it up, So just really know that acting.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody have any questions?
So when you're talking about paying attention to people, you're not talking about, or other actors, you were mentioning earlier about studying animated shows and that kind of thing, not necessarily to go about imitating what somebody else is doing. You need to have your own characters. So take the bits and pieces and parts from other folks, and that's who they become.
Create your own. When I tell actors to study, you want to know that Nick Jr. has a certain style of the shows. Disney has their style of shows. So I'm just saying to actors, when I say study, you want to know the styles of the shows. You don't want to imitate the characters.
Sure.
You might go ahead and you might say, Richard, oh, I have a great character idea from a show you saw that you can implement into maybe your own personal show. So that's what I mean.
Mr. Oliver, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, but I think you're okay. I see you now. Damon?
Yes, man. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Given the distinction that Nickelodeon has their own style and Disney has their own style, given your expertise in the field, how would you describe the difference between the two?
I only worked at Disney, but I will say I think Nick Jr. or Nickelodeon, they're a little bit more cartoony, their shows. So what we're all doing now, animation-wise, is they're really trying to be more realistic, but there are some shows that still has that slight cartooniness. Okay,
so you can expect a more over-the-top read from a Nick Jr. show.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of flavor would you describe the Disney audition lens?
Tone it down. For Disney's, I would tone it down just a bit. It's not going to be over the top. And I had another note because it just hit me. When you're studying shows, remember your audience as to who you're targeting. Nick Jr., they're going to have the children from maybe, I want to say maybe 3, 4, 5, and 6 years of age. So you're going to be a little bit over animated and stuff. So like Nickelodeon or Nick Jr. Okay. And you're going to speak probably very slowly so that the kids understand. Whereas the older kids, you're going to move the copy a little bit faster in your characters. But don't get stuck in your head. Because I could see actors getting stuck in their head because they would be paying attention. Oh, Everett said to speak slowly. I mean, not real slowly like they did in PBS, but you want to speak slightly a little slowly.
All right. Thank you for that, sir.
You're welcome.
I've heard two different schools of thought as far as you must live in LA versus you don't necessarily have to live in LA anymore. What do you think as far as animation industry?
You have to live in LA.
Okay.
The reason why, I mean, there, and I'm being honest and being straightforward. We have a lot of talent here in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who audition all over the United States. I've traveled all over the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Why would a casting director hire someone outside of Los Angeles? They're just not going to do that.
Sure, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Because if Michael lived in Dallas, they're going to pay for all of those expenses, the studio, and they're just not going to do that.
So then I have a question. I live in North Orange County. Is that still too far away? It usually takes me like 2 hours to get up to LA.
You're fine.
Okay.
I wouldn't let anybody know. Now that you have put yourself on the spot.
I'll cut it out of the final.
So
that's where he goes on weekends. That's not his normal.
Right, exactly. Michael, that's your home during the weekends, right?
Okay.
As I say to the actors, less is best. You don't want to give up too much information.
Okay,
There's in Orange County, Florida, so hey, you're safe.
Right.
Yeah, well, then I got to be extra careful as to where I say which Orange County I live in. Now, going back to some of the issues that you've brought up with actors about overthinking, how does that manifest? Like, how would you describe an actor who is overthinking their part? Like, how would you describe also some of the other major pitfalls that you see a lot of actors do when they're either auditioning or they're performing and they're not quite where they need to be?
Okay, we have to separate the two because when actors are performing, they know that usually the casting person and the producer, they know the actor well enough that they can get the performances they need.
Okay.
Me as a booth director, currently what I do now, the things I see, like I said, besides them overthinking it, they are not confident in their reads. And I can spot that really quickly because they're trying to make a choice because they're trying to say, oh, well, it could possibly go this way or it could possibly go this way. I say just make a decision because there is no right or wrong answer when you're auditioning for characters. Because I'm going to be quite honest with you, the producers and the casting people, sometimes they don't even know until they hear it. So make that choice, do it with a smile, and see what happens. And if you don't, I've been in casting situations too, that if they don't like that character for that specific project, they'll bring you in for something else, even if it's a guest role, for that specific series.
Okay. So it's basically just commit to something and stick with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Everett,
Yes, Brad. In the corner.
Are there any go-to characters that you would put on a animation demo?
The animation demo should have characters currently now that are funny. When you're doing, from what I understand, because I'm not in the agency world anymore, so I had to go back and talk to some agents. They're looking for your comedy timing in characters. So I would brush up on your improv skills, and I would definitely put you in your character demo. I would definitely put your comedy stuff right at the top. What might seem funny to you might not be funny to an agent,
Right.
but they're listening for how funny you are.
Okay.
Thanks. So, and keep your demos short. I would say probably do 5 to 6 characters. Make sure that the range, make sure you still have character range in your demos. Different ups and downs to it. Don't make it all one level.
Right. And keep it to about 60 seconds, something like that.
Probably you can go a little bit over a minute.
Okay.
Not much. Because I'm telling you, most of it, when the agents and even the casting people start hearing you, they're just listening to your acting. They're just going to go, oh, okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like the acting and the choices he made here. Next character.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Based off what you said earlier about it, you must live in LA, and I'm kind of seeing in the chat it's being brought up a little bit too. But is there any way to somehow get started in animation, not in LA, and then move to LA, or are there any other places you recommend being able to get started in?
I would say, I'm going to say Dallas, but that's more Funimation.
What's Funimation?
You beat me to it.
Funimation is anime.
It's kind of anime.
Oh,
It's
anime. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of anime dubbing.
It's a lot of anime there. And I just found out, too, that there's some anime here being done here in LA, which when I was working at the studios in Disney and Sony, there was no anime here at all. So I'm assuming it was all in, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Hold that, one more thought. Okay, so Dallas would be one. I don't know about Houston. I mean, not Houston, Austin. But that's, I think that's video games.
Austin's
But
video games.
Dallas,
There's no Funimation
Dallas.
there.
I'm sorry?
I live in Austin. There's no Funimation here. There is there's a lot of video games though.
That's what I thought.
Oh, that's where I might have.
I haven't actually been to Austin yet, so that's on my travel plans. Yeah, Dallas is the only one I can think of off the top.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions?
What commonalities are there between animation and commercial? What kind of similar things do you do? Because I know you as with your business, you coach for auditions for commercial as well as animation. So what are some things that apply to both, and then distinctions?
Really, to just be who you are. The commonalities, whether it's the character or you just being real. Those are the main things that I could say about, commercial copy. We're all talking about the very conversational reads in commercials. So in animation, it's still that very conversation because you have to communicate, talk to someone. So those are the two things that really, really stand out.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Nathan, you're working with Everett right now?
Was.
Not currently.
Oh, currently was. Okay.
I'm working my way toward working with Everett.
Got it. Okay. Well, I was gonna ask you to describe what your experience was so far working with them for as far as you have.
And now I'm working my way toward working with Everett.
Yeah.
I haven't directly worked with Everett yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Well, you know, I what I do to encourage to everyone, I'm a believer in everyone should study with everybody because you get a bunch of information from everybody. My emphasis as far as my business also is concerned is I'm more of an audition type of person. So I want you to be, or I'll get you there at the top of your game, especially when it comes to characters. I want you less thinking about it. I want you jumping in and just doing it. That's how I could tell whether or not you're a strong performer. I will say a lot of actors now tip me, they worry about bookings. I say, are you having fun? That's the main point. And if you haven't booked, the bookings will come. But if you're not having fun and it's getting, oh, I can't book this animated thing, or I can't book this, my thing would probably be to say, you know, you might want to try another profession, because this is supposed to be something that's fun that we do. You know, especially when you're doing these characters. And I get it, because I get thousands of people who contact me every day that say, oh, I want to be this animation character. Oh, I got these great characters. The best advice I also say to people is develop your own projects. Because somebody like Michael might say, Everett, I developed my own show. What do I do with it now? Well, I used to also work in a little bit of development. I still maintain my relationships. I could walk that project into a film Roman, and they'll say, oh, we want to bring this person in. And then I say to Michael, and I tell you all a little tip that I'm probably not supposed to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. If you go ahead and you get a project, you have a project, and you hand the project over to someone, of course you guys you're all going to want to do the characters. But I say you get a credit for being an executive producer. You get a credit for being the creator of the show. And I wouldn't take the main character as the actor. I would take a supporting or incidental character. So that way, if you still have to pay your health and pension dues, you use that incidental character to do that. So you're getting 3 credits. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that I teach that in my classes.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do have a project that I've been working on for a couple of years.
As do I.
And I'm pretty much every character on that thing, but.
Well, it looks like from the whole panel, you can give everyone on the panel a part and just give yourself a little small part and you'll be fine.
I'm in, Nathan. I'm in.
So we've had some interest expressed in the chat to sort of see a little bit of what it's like when you work with somebody one-on-one. Would it be cool with the last sort of 15 minutes that we've got with you here to see what that's kind of like? If you have a script that you'd like to use that you could email to me, I'd be more than happy to post it up to everybody. If not, we'll pull something from our little script library.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I always have scripts. Let's see, something fun, something short, something fun. Oh, Okay, this is perfect. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to send this to you now. I'm going to send you one male character first, and I'm going to send you one female character.
Okay. Well, while I put those into our system and send them out to everybody, why don't you go ahead and decide who you'd like to work with for the male character and the female character. Nathan, if any moderation is needed, I leave that up to you.
Okay.
Oh, I have to decide?
Well, I mean, you can do it however you want to. If you want to call for volunteers, let's go for it.
I'll do it.
Personally, I'd love to have some of the less voiceover experienced people in our group to go up and do this. I don't know everybody's background though. We have a couple of new faces that I don't know, what their experience is or anything like that. I'd love to have somebody who's a little bit more fresh with the whole thing, work with them to see more of what that's like, from the ground up. So while I work with that, I'll go ahead and leave that to you guys, however you want to select it.
I know Cheryl from somewhere.
Me?
Yes.
I'm friends. Well, we both know Uncle Roy, and I know you hang out with him. He did my commercial demo.
That's what it is. Okay. I've seen you somewhere before, so.
So you're picked.
I guess you are.
I'll go opposite her. All I've done is audiobooks, so.
Okay, give me 2 seconds here. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything?
I have a quick question. What's your best advice on how to market yourself as an animation voiceover talent? So a lot of what we've been working on in my coaching sessions right now kind of seems geared a little bit more towards commercial. Like right now I've been reaching out to local businesses and like film schools. What's your best way to market yourself as an animation talent? Like, is there a certain place to go or just start putting out auditions?
See, usually we tell everybody to do commercial first and get in that way. Because here's the deal. They're not, usually like studios don't really listen to demos. It's the casting people. And see, the casting people, they go to the agents. That's interesting. I gotta think about that. Let me think about that. Because
I guess that would be another question. Can you get animation gigs without agency representation?
You can. I mean, there's stuff all over the internet that people audition for all the time.
Oh, I can't see that.
You could, in answer to your question, you could probably market your stuff and send it to, if you're the game world is different than us for a series. And obviously you're talking about more series. Ms. Jackson, did you ask me a question before about marketing?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I would network. I would network my way into the system. That's the best marketing answer that I can give you. Find someone who you know in the animation business. And I've seen this happen too. Talk to them, depending on where they are as far as agencies and everything, and see if they can market it for you. Because seriously, in all honesty, no one is really going to pick you up by you marketing saying you're this type. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really does that. They all go on referrals.
Okay, so both of the scripts have been posted. Did everybody get those links? The first script is for the male part, and the second script is for the female part.
Oh, hold on. Let's see what I did.
Peridot?
Yeah.
Who would like to go? Oh, Cheryl, are you going first? Do you need a minute?
Sure.
Okay, give me
Sure.
a second.
Oh, and I'm Sherry Everett.
Sherry, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Everything is everything is so small in the lettering. I'm like,
I know.
it looks like Cheryl. I'm like, oh, there's no L in there. Sorry. Okay. I'm also going to teach you about specs too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you to read your first pass. Just give me your first pass, and then we'll go on to your second.
Okay. I was going over her character.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about her character? Why don't we start there?
I'm telling you about Peridot.
Yes, I want you to tell me what's your interpretation of this character.
She reminds me of a lot of the IT friends my husband has. My husband's an IT guy. So we have all these IT people in our circles, and they can be very serious, very exacting. And if I make a little crack, they just look at me like, "Why would you say such a ridiculous thing?" And then they realize, "Oh, I see. You weren't really being literal." But sometimes to arrive at that point, it takes a while. Okay. But if I need to get something technical done, you can count on them. So I appreciate that.
Okay. I'm going to let you do your first pass.
Okay. Log date 3/12. Maintenance check in progress. There appear to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show that there were already Stevens here before reactivation. How many more Stevens are in this area? Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replace humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? The crystal gems began to destroy the crystal gems begin to destroy Peridot's machine. That's part of the action. Stop it. Don't break that.
Okay, so everything sounded all one note.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to give me different levels and different beats. Now, the person who your husband's coworkers, pick the one who is your least favorite, who's on the verge of psychopath. Don't tell me who the person is because we're on camera. I'm going to give you 2 seconds, and I want you to jump right into it. 1, go.
3, 1, 2. Maintenance check in progress. There appear to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show that there were already Stevens here before reactivation. How many more Stevens are in this area? Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Stop it. Don't break that.
Okay, so that's your second take. I want to give you a third take. I want you slightly a little bit more intense. Now, if you noticed, everybody, she went up and, Sherry went up in her upper register. So what I'm tapping into is the girl who you don't like, as far as your husband's coworkers, she must be in that register. So I want you to, what I do is I take your neck here. I want you to drop down in your lower register. And I want you slightly a little bit psycho and slightly a little bit intense. Psychopath, I should say. Okay, here we go. Last take. You're rolling.
Log date 3/12. Maintenance check in progress. There appear to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show that there were already Stevens here before reactivation. How many more Stevens are in this area? Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Stop it! Don't break that.
Partial pickup. Your first line. Your very first line. Ready? Go.
Log date 312. Maintenance check in progress.
Go. The whole script. Go.
Log date 312. Maintenance check in progress. There appear to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show that there were already Stevens here before reactivation. How many more Stevens are in this area? Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Stop it! Don't break that!
Okay, so you've done 4 different characters. I like your third take. You connected it with the copy a little bit more on your third one. The reason why I made you go back and just do the very first line is you started off as one character, then you slipped out of character and you became somebody else.
I wasn't
That's why
confused. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions on that path from?
No, I guess not.
Thank you. So, well, I guess, so you say the third take was the most connected.
Yes.
And that was when I was a little higher?
No, you were lower.
I was, okay.
And you less thought about it. When I was giving you that direction, that's why I say less is best. So when you guys are auditioning, I do tell actors it should only take you 30 minutes to do an audition. If you're taking longer than 30 minutes, you're totally overthinking everything. I do have actors. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you recommend a certain number of times that you read through the script or okay?
Okay, so I tell actors when they're doing their auditions to read the script first, then go back and read it a second time, write your notes of what you're going to do for your second pass. So you're going to record, after you write your notes, you're going to record your first take. Then right after that, you're going to record your second take. Then I want you to walk away for 15 minutes, go wash dishes, go talk to your spouse, feed your animals, do something to just, you're doing something else. Then come back and do your third take. In that order.
Do you recommend listening back to your previous takes before you do your next ones? No.
Don't listen. No, because you will have 3 different characters.
Okay.
See, a lot of people, what they do, when I was at the agency, I can always tell the actors when they came in with their scripts and they had notes all through the whole page. That was because they knew where the emotions changed, where they need to, personality came through. I get actors who, through my business, I have this great audition I want to book. I could tell you that they did not look at that character. I could totally tell. And they saw the money. That's the other thing that I tell actors. Do not look at a price when you're auditioning. That's going to throw you all off. Michael is agreeing, so you understand.
Well, the biggest, honestly, the biggest thing I landed in my entire career was completely off the cuff, and it was a complete surprise that I even auditioned for it. So yeah, don't look at the price. I was sure I wasn't going to get it, and I was the guy they hired. So yes, do not look at the price. Just go for the audition.
Right.
So I know we're past the time that you have allotted for us.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. So then let's go ahead and choose a male reader now to go for this next one.
Dan volunteered.
Dan?
I
was going to choose Dan.
Did anybody mix that one?
If Dan was the one who volunteered, if Dan was the one who was selected, and Everett wants to work with him, let's go with him.
Dan, give me 2 seconds, please. Apparently I got, how did I do it? Okay. Someone threw me off for a second. Bruce Banner, right? Is that what I sent you?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket.
Got it.
The Yellow
Got
Jacket.
it. Okay, here we go. Great. You ready, Dan?
Sure.
You're rolling.
You're pathetic, Ant-Man. Just like your daughter's science fair project. So, you finally admit it. We could have done this together, Hank, but you ruined that. That's why you're the past, and I'm the future. Wow. Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak. Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan. What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature. Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and I peel it off.
Okay, great. Dan, tell me about this character.
Well, Yellow Jacket, businessman, unstable, not too big on emotion, more than the destructive side of it. Anger, rage.
Okay, and who in your personal life is this character? You don't have to tell me their names. You have somebody in your head?
Oh, yeah.
I can totally tell your face. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. And follow me as to what I might say. You're going to start at line 1, and you're rolling.
You're pathetic, Ant-Man. Just like your daughter's science fair project.
It sounds flat. You got to give me more emotions to it. Give me line 1 again. You're rolling.
You're pathetic, Ant-Man. Just like your daughter's science fair project.
Great. Go to line 2, please.
So, you finally admit it. We could have done this together. We could have done this together, Hank. But you ruined that. That's why you're the past and I'm the future.
You sound like you're reading. Give me more pompous.
Yeah.
Line 2. You're rolling.
So, you finally admit it. We could have done this together, Hank. But you ruined that. That's why you're the past and I'm the future.
Great. Go to line 3.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
Give me an effort, like you got punched in the face. Give me line 3 again.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
Great. Smooth it out a little bit. Line 3 again.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Oh, I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Line 4, please.
Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan.
Smooth it out a little bit more. Go.
Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan.
Great. Line 5.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature. What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
Give me line 5 again. More defensive. Watch your clarity.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
Line 6.
Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off. Oh, desperate. Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Okay, now you stepped out of character. Let's go back to
Yes,
the
I
other
did.
character. Okay, here we go. Line 6.
Take the suit off. Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Okay. Now, so sometimes I say to actors, Dan, I don't think your stepdad might not be working well for this particular part. Do you have somebody else as an alt? because you're having a really hard time connecting with just that. Now, I'm going to ask you some personal questions.
Okay.
Somebody you went to high school with.
I went to a lot of high schools.
Okay. That's okay. If you can think back as to somebody who was this character. Somebody in your neighborhood. Somebody you used to work with. This is when I say, okay, you got them. You're not worried about the voice, you're worried about the acting. Let's go for another take.
Okay.
Ready? You got them? You got that image?
Got the image.
Great. Here we go. Line 1, and you're rolling.
You're pathetic, Ant-Man. Just like your daughter's science fair project.
Line 2.
So, you finally admit it. We could have done this together, Hank, but you ruined that. That's why you're the past, and I am the future.
Line 3.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
You're overthinking it. Line 3.
Wow. 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 I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
Great. Line 4.
Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan.
Line 5.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
Okay, I'm going to have you go back to line 4 because you're starting to overthink it a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we go. Smooth it out. Line 4.
Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan.
Brilliant. Line 5.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
We'll go back to that. Line 6, please.
Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Okay, sounds a little choppy. Line 6 again. Don't think.
Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains. You're right, I'm overthinking it. Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Give me back line 5 again. Give me lines 5 and 6.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
Much better. Line 6.
Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
More desperate. Talk to me.
Take the suit off. Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Much better. Now, Dan, advice is specifically to you. I'm hearing you breathe a lot. So I'm going to give you a technique. I want you to either do this as if somebody has a weapon or something at you, or you can relax your arms like this, whatever's comfortable for you. This here is going to open your diaphragm, and it's going to open up so that air comes in, so you'll be easier to breathe.
It's
okay?
98 degrees and humid here right now.
Okay, so. But you sound better just by doing that.
Okay.
Give me lines 4, 5, and 6. So just wait, put your arms up so I can hear your breathing.
Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan. What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of... I did it again. What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature. Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Give me a little bit more energy for line 6.
Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Okay, now how did you feel?
Stretched.
You feel stretched.
I feel stretched.
So that will work for you when you're auditioning or, just reading copy.
Okay.
So, Michael, that's what I do.
That was a lot of fun and very informative, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, hey,
but I'm listening for how well you still stay in character. You know what I'm saying? So when Sherry was reading and drops in and out, I just immediately have people go back to the previous line. You know, like Dan, it's just like, nope, you stepped out. As I would say, you're not whatever character you were. You're not that character anymore. You're somebody else. Bring that person back. And then they go, oh, okay. So it's a matter of that. And here's the deal. You have to maintain this character for 4 hours. You know, the audition part is easy. Maintaining it for 4 hours and being in another room with other actors and playing with them, you could easily not be Michael again. You could be Nathan. You'd be like, oh, and the director's going to say, he keeps slipping in and out. You know, but I don't think actors realize it's a lot of energy. And, you know, to keep that. Now, imagine if you had an incidental character plus your main character.
You got to keep them straight.
Yeah.
May I ask a question, please? What do you hear when you hear somebody slipping out of character? Like what?
There's somebody else. That's what I hear. I hear like whoever that other person is. So here's a tip. As I tell actors now, and Nathan probably knows this, to take a picture. Take a picture of whoever you're talking to. Mm-hmm. And you take the picture and you put it in your booth. So that way that person is looking right in front of you.
Talking as or talking to?
Talking to.
So I would have had a picture of Steven. He would have a picture of Ant-Man for these particular.
I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about the person who you're identifying with.
Oh, okay.
Because now here's another thing that I've noticed too. In animation for characters, you have to create your own characters. So I have a background in animation production. So what used to happen when I used to go to the sessions, we would have the director and the the producer and the animation director come to the sessions. They would start drawing what they hear. Actors sometimes rely on the character picture. So the way when I'm teaching, I say to actors, don't look at a picture because it's your interpretation of what that character is. Don't worry about the drawings. But then some of the actors were looking at the drawings anyway. So then I said, okay, I'm just going to leave it up to you. I'm not going to just argue, but I think it's more helpful when you step outside the box. And that's the key when you're auditioning. Yes, the specs and everything are there, but I want you all to remember to step outside the box a little bit. Because the producers or somebody will hear something so slight and different that they may select you just because you stepped outside that box. Michael, you look puzzled.
No. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking because I'm trying to apply all of this. If I was going to read this, I'm just trying to apply all of this in my own head too. So, just been thinking.
Mm-hmm.
No,
now,
this is all been.
Now, do you want to do a pass of this? So now we've heard Dan's interpretation.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to give this a pass.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Put you on the spot. Give me
Okay.
a totally different interpretation.
You're pathetic, Ant-Man, just like your daughter's science fair project. So you finally admit it. We could have done this together, Hank, but you ruined that. That's why you're the past and I'm the future. Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak. Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan. What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature. Take the suit off or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Okay, you do overthink things. Now, in the beginning of lines 1, 2, and 3, you sounded one note, and it sounded flat. Okay. So here's my question to you. Who is this person?
So I don't know the actor's name, but I know the character he plays. He plays a character in a video game I just recently beat. He plays Balder from God of War.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. Okay,
yeah.
So
let me see what
have
his name is.
His image in your mind. Now I'm going to tell you about specs while we're on it. Power hungry, unbalanced, super genius, and he's bent on giving revenge. Now you don't have to take all 4 of those. You can take 2 out of the 4. Choose 2. Now I'm not going to have you think about it. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're rolling.
You're pathetic, Ant-Man. Just like your daughter's science fair project.
Line 2.
So you finally admit it. We could have done this together, Hank, but you ruined that. That's why you're the past and I'm the future.
More intimidating, line 2.
So you finally admit it? We could have done this together, Hank, but you ruined that. That's why you're the past and I'm the future.
Line 2 again, intimidating. I want you to stop over enunciating. Go.
So you finally admit it. We could have done this together, Hank, but you ruined that. That's why you're the past and I'm the future.
Line 3.
Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
Give me that effort first, that punch, and then go into it. More energy. Line 3.
Wow. I mean, I saw the punch coming a mile away, but I just figured it'd be all pathetic and weak.
Line 4.
Hey, that's not fair. That wasn't part of my plan.
Line 5.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
More defensive. Line 5.
What laws? Of man? The laws of nature transcend the laws of man, and I've transcended the laws of nature.
Line 6.
Take the suit off, or I'll blow your brains out and peel it off.
Brilliant. You heard the difference?
Mm-hmm.
I like that character. The second one. Personal question. Are you from back east, Michael?
Nope. Born and raised in Southern California.
Okay. Be careful of your enunciation.
Okay.
Meaning you over enunciate a little bit.
I do.
So now the tip is Nathan's on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. I expected everybody on the East Coast when they're auditioning to over enunciate because they do that. When you're living out here, we don't do that. So you got to just pull back on the reads. I've traveled to probably 7 cities. I'm on my 7 or 8 cities. And I've had to listen across country to how everyone speaks. So audition-wise, especially for characters, just pull it back.
Okay, muddy it up a little bit.
Okay. So yeah.
What about internationally?
Internationally, they all sound kind of sort of the same. They really sound like more of the East Coast to me. I have recently did a workshop with people from the UK, and they all sound like from New York. I can hear obviously I can hear the dialect, but they all tend to really over enunciate their characters. So most of the characters that you're going to where they're going to come from are going to probably come from LA or Dallas, depending on, where you are. So like I said, you have to really pay attention to the regions when you're auditioning just in general.
Okay.
All righty.
Well, Everett, do you have time maybe for one more female reader just to keep it balanced?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to, go ahead. Who would you like to volunteer?
Tiffany. Yeah, she's shocked. I love that. I love that. I used to hate being put on the spot as a kid, but I love this.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Tiffany's great. Okay. I just heard a little sample and that was enough.
Okay.
Hold on, Tiffany, give me 2 seconds because why I'm doing this. Okay, here it is. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Let me see.
Hold on 2 seconds. She did. Here we go. You ready?
Okay. Log date 3/1/2. Maintenance check in progress. There appear to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show there were already Stevens here before reactivation. Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Stop it! Don't break that!
Okay, Tiffany, I hear what you're doing. You're worried about the voice.
Okay.
I want you to pick up the pacing. And you sound like one, it sounds to me like it's all one note. Change it up a bit. Okay? Give me a take 2.
Okay.
And I like the character what you did. Because it kind of sort of has that accent slightly. So what really indicates to me is you looked at the picture.
Okay.
Which is fine. But I'm gonna see if you could duplicate that, what you just did. Just pick up the energy and the pacing a little bit more. Take 2.
Okay. Log date 3/1/2. Maintenance check in progress. There appears to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show that there were already Stevens here before reactivation. Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced the humans? Let me take that. Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced the humans as the dominant species on Earth?
You're worried about the voice. Can we go back to line 3 and forward? You're still worried about the voice. Give me the acting.
Okay.
Here we go. Line 3.
Okay. Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Stop it! Don't break that!
I think the second pass was better.
Okay.
Here's another tip. When you're reading animation copy or commercial copy on the West Coast, we don't honor commas.
Okay.
You're honoring too much of the commas.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to do one more pass with you.
Okay.
You're still worrying about the voice.
Got it. Okay.
Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Ready? You're rolling.
3/1/2. Maintenance check in progress. There appear to be Stevens infesting the kindergarten. I'd like the record to show that there were already Stevens here before reactivation. How many more Stevens are there in this area? Oh, that's a relief. Have Stevens replaced humans as the dominant species on Earth? How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? I paused, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. How did the red eye not detect you? Wait, are you the ones who broke the homeworld warp? Stop it! Don't break that!
Okay, remember to give a stronger opening and a stronger ending.
Okay.
Your ending wasn't as strong as your opening was.
Okay.
Okay. Also, the other tip is when you're reading copy, make sure you print it or use an iPad. Reading off a computer is really challenging.
Right, yeah.
So I just wanted to give that because it just hit me. I liked your last take. Your personality of the character came out a little bit more.
Okay.
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 Any questions?
Thank you.
Any questions? No?
I just want to say thank you, Everett. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you. I do have a quick question. When you're talking about Tiffany's beginning and end, do you mean like the first line, or are you talking about
He started off
the first part of the
very,
last line?
He started off very strong in the beginning. So you
Okay.
have to remember when you're auditioning to be very strong at the end. So the last line, she needed to be really strong. Stop it. Don't break that. She sounded really, it wasn't really flat, but it wasn't like she didn't emphasize agitated. She needed to be just a little bit more agitated to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been coming across that a lot in our reads. Remember, the end point is not the last line, but after it.
Right.
I think that's what I think that's going back to that.
Mm-hmm. So just be, it's like you really need to, when you start off strong, just make sure you have the same energy level at the end and make it strong. Because though they're only here in a split second, whoever's listening, they're gonna go, oh, okay. Call back. That's 9 times out of 10. It ain't gonna be a booking. It'll be you may go to round 2.
You're shortlisted.
Yeah. Right. That's what the name of the game is as far as animation. Let's get to round 2, and then I teach callbacks too. That's a whole nother different process. And I could do a little bit time. When you're doing a callback, one of the things that actors should keep in mind is you never want to duplicate the audition you sent in. You want to pay specific attention to what the director's asking. And if you have agents or it's probably going to be just agents, the audition that you sent in, you make sure you keep a copy of, and that's my new thing now, keep records and copies of your audition in the event that agents can only hold your files for 3 to 6 months. But if you have a copy of all your auditions, you can refer back to it. So that's really one of the most important things when you're at a callback is to really follow directions. And if you don't understand what the director or the producers are saying to you, just simply ask. A lot of people get intimidated. So I used to be in the callback room smiling in the background because they knew I was a familiar face. And so I would talk to the actors and then I would say, even though we look tough and mean, we're really not. We're not agitated at all. This is not about you. So just take a deep breath, follow directions, give them one take. And the other note is, if something strikes you that comes to mind when you're at a callback session, you say, you know what? I'd like to do something different. Can I have this real quick opportunity to just do it? And they'll say, if you can give it to us less than 30 seconds, go. Just do it.
Okay, so with what you just said, the agency only keeps it 3 to 6 months. Do the casting people keep it longer and maybe like hear your audition saying no?
Probably not. I would just start keeping records of all your auditions. Just set up something on your desktop, categorize it by commercials, narration, animation, and drop every file in there till the end of the year and then just dump it. Mm-hmm. I would do that. You never know. And also, by you keeping these files, it gives you good practice for when, when you're trying to scramble for characters.
Because you've already got the characters.
Yeah, you've already got a reference there. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
And if your best read was Hillbilly 2017, then don't do
hey.
that. And then you're like, yeah, I had that on lock, and keep it in your toolbox.
How did you know, Damon? How did you know?
I have one question. Say I get my agency my character demo goes to my agency, the agency gets me a gig. If I want your help to produce that audition, how would that be possible?
Yes. You go to myboothdirector.com. I have a contact page. And the contact page is a little form. So you'll say your name. You will say when the audition is due. Type me a small message so I can go ahead and juggle some things. And then what I do is I tell the actor to send me your first pass and the copy of the audition so I can hear where you're going. Then I will set up, send you a Zoom link, and then we'll do the audition face-to-face.
Okay.
Yeah, so please, while we're here now, why don't you go ahead and tell us everything you normally do with an actor one-on-one, all the services that you offer through myboothdirector.com.
I do one-on-one privates, commercially and animation, obviously auditions. I do online workshops for commercial animation. I tour around the country. I'm laughing because I've been to New York, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, San Francisco. I'm on my way to Seattle, Dallas, Toronto, Canada. So I've been to about 7 cities teaching, around the country. I basically listen for people's reads. I listen to how well people connect to copy. So I understand geographically how, I can, because I do consultations as well. So in my consultations, I would say, once I listen to somebody, once I get to know them and say, LA is not your market. Your market is, the center part of the country, Chicago, Dallas, right up in the center. That's where you need to be targeting all, your information or looking for an agent. So I do consuls as well. I do demos. I have a lot of actors who want me to, but if I don't produce it, I just direct it. They want me to direct them on characters. But that's what I basically do. I'm pretty open. I'm pretty honest with people. You either like me or don't. Very few people don't. Because
I get that a lot.
I understand this business because I have 4 areas in the business. And this is a business. And you have to treat this as a business. The name of the game is network. I tell actors all the time to go to one conference. Not every conference is for everybody, but if you want to go ahead and you want to find directors and all that marketings and stuff like that, I refer people to people who market. Okay. So I'm very well connected social media wise too. Get those followers up, because now, from what I understand, agents and casting people want to see how popular you are, especially if you want to get into animation and video games. So here's the other tip. Once they see how much your followers are, then they'll say, oh, I want you to find Michael. I don't know where he is, but his either Facebook or Instagram says OC California. Find him. I want this. I might have something for him. Oh, is he with an agent? I don't know. That's your responsibility to find him when they go tell the other people. So it's different times. We didn't have this when I was in casting. It was just more or less like everybody would go to all the agencies. So through my company, I try to connect people, and that's what I do. Once I connect people, I'm good. So I provide a whole lot of stuff across the board. That's pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay, well that's definitely a lot. Once again, you can find him at myboothdirector.com, and you'll get the same kind of quality direction, everything like that you've gotten from him here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you stayed with us for quite a long time, Everett. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any other questions that they'd like to ask before we call it into this here?
I have one quick question.
Yes.
You said on your website you have online workouts. I was just checking it out. Could you just speak to that a little bit?
I basically do commercial animation. I give copy to actors a day before, and I flip and choose. So I have no more than 8 people online. I might pair you up with somebody, and I might have the actor and I direct you on a character. I sometimes like to just sit back and hear what actors helping other actors pull something out of, pull the character out of you. So I do that. I've been doing that for a couple of months just to do something new and different. I loved it, and Nathan doesn't know, but I loved in-person stuff because I get to play, I get to take off my shoes, I get to act like a crazy person in a fun way. So, I have actors who call me, well, they email me, when are you coming here? When are you coming here? When are you coming here? So I might be in a city near you. So if you want to play and have a good time, I love the in-person stuff, really. I have breakthroughs in my in-person workshops,
And you're in LA, Everett?
I'm sorry?
You're in Los Angeles?
I'm based in LA, yes.
Based in LA, okay.
Okay. So, but my online stuff, I do it for about 2 hours.
Okay.
And it's, relatively short. I want to make sure that everybody gets at least 2 or 3 passes in that 2-hour gap.
That sounds surprisingly similar to what we do here on a normal basis, actually. Yeah, because what we do here is, of course, this is all actors helping actors. We don't call it coaching. We're not, we actually like to refer to coaches. And once again, thank you for joining us because you're one of the people that we do refer people to. But every single week we have a new script that we all share. Everybody has a chance to read. And then we have a group discussion where we all sort of agree on what we need to do with it. And then we go through and have directed reads where, everybody has a chance to read and get some feedback from everybody else. And yeah, we've had some great conversations. We've had some great information come out from that. So we are big proponents of what you do with that.
Great. Yeah. I'm always, you have to get feedback because you want to make it enough juicy enough to stand over to be on top. And the thing about it is you're competing. I can't even tell you how many of you are competing over one role. And I came from casting, so it's 10 agencies, blah, blah, blah. But when I went on my own and I went to one conference, I was just blown away. And I'm like, all y'all are competing for this character or this piece of copy. And I just stood back and I was like, well, because like I said, the voiceover industry now is really, really, really expanded, So I look at it as, guys, size up your competition in a fun way. I say it with a smile. All about sizing up your competition. Because you have to know. That's why I tell everybody as far as like references. You know what I'm saying? Watch TV. When you're in the car, turn on a radio and listen to commercials. Hear what your competition is.
iSpot.tv.
Yes.
Definitely go there. If you don't know what iSpot.tv is, it's basically a repository of a bunch of different advertisements. So it's a great place to get some reference on different kinds of reads, on what people have landed for different companies, and the general idea of what they hire for. So iSpot.tv is a great place to do some research too.
Great. Thank you for that tip.
Yeah, I've been working with Nancy Wolfson, and that's one of the things that she brought up is iSpot.tv. Like, if you're going to do an audition, it's always good to know what that company has sort of hired before, the tone or the general feel of it. So iSpot.tv is basically a massive repository of a bunch of different campaigns and stuff that were launched. You can search up any kind of company, any of their ads from, I don't know how far back it goes, but I know it's a really, really, really good resource for that.
Great. That's good to know.
Well, hey, we're glad we could help you out with something.
Exactly.
Good people helping good people. That's
absolutely
about this industry.
Yes.
Well, hey, Everett, you promised us 45 minutes. You spent twice that amount of time with us. We really, really thank you. Honestly, we thank you really deeply for this, for all the information, for the one-on-one coaching. If you ever have a free Monday, we're always here the exact same time. We would always love some more direction, especially from somebody of your talent and skill. So if ever you find yourself with a free Monday, even if it's just like 30 minutes or so, we would love to have you on. We'd love to hear from you.
And I always do surprises.
Awesome.
We love surprises.
Are always like.
Well,
I'm a surprise person.
I was going to say, I know too. I am on your. I've subscribed to your emails, to your newsletter, and I would suggest to everybody, if you haven't done that already, to we just do it through your. I think I did it through your website, or maybe you shared a link on Facebook or something. But definitely do that, and that way you can keep track of when he's doing an online workout or he's
session workout.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also too, my social medias, it's myboothdirector.com for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I am an avid and support all actors. I tweet 5 days a week on all social medias. Wow. You know, giving them tips, audition tips, motivation, because I understand and I get it. You know, I totally understand. So if you want to, you know, follow me and stuff like that. I, you know, post pictures here and there, Instagram, of, you know, my workshops and my classes.
And that's all My Booth Director. If we've looked that up on the different social medias, that's
myboothdirector.com.
Okay.
Yes. And what I normally do is I'm scrolling past because I'm looking at faces because I'm a face person. Because what happens is people Facebook me, and they might put a picture of their animal. And I'm like, I don't Facebook everybody. So I like to see people's faces, so at least I know, you know, who's following me. So I'm encouraging everybody to get on the other social medias. You know, so.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much once again, Everett.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Once again, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you all next week.